It's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy with a quick question. Have you downloaded the Black Primacy app yet? If you haven't, don't worry about it. I just wanted to remind you that it is the number one way to find black owned businesses near you. Whether you're looking for food, fashion, or services, we've got you covered on this app. So download it now and start supporting black owned businesses in your area today. All right? Link in the description.
Today, I want to talk to you about middle class money traps, how to escape the middle class forever. If you are sick and tired of feeling like you're on a hamster wheel, in a rat race, running around in circles like a dog chasing its tail, if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're tired of having more month left at the end of the money than money at the end of the month, but you still make a decent income, but you're frustrated, like, why can't I get ahead? This video is for you. So what are the middle class money traps? I'm gonna talk about 5 middle class money traps that keep people stuck in middle class forever. The first one is the dissipation trap. The dissipation trap is they waste most of their lives waiting for, wishing for, hoping for, and wanting their life to get better without doing the things that will actually make it better. And I believe that the dissipation trap of time dissipation is based on a belief of a false narrative that time is money. This is such a destructive myth. Time is money. Time is money. Oh, you gotta hurry up. Time is money. Time is money. Time is money. How many of you have heard somebody say that? I've heard people say that. How many of you said it? I've said it. But you know what? Time's not money. If you run out of time, you don't get more time. But if you run out of money, you get more money. You can always get more money. I've run out of money many times in my life. But I've always gotten more money after I ran out of money. But if you run out of time, you don't get more time. So time is not money. In fact, if I said to you, I'm going to give you $1 million, I'm going to write you a check today for $1 million. It will clear. I promise you. It'll clear. You don't have to worry about that. I'm write you a check today for $1 million. Who wants that money? Anybody in here want that money? Right. Exactly. We have people in the audience and they said, oh yeah, I want that money. Now, there's only one stipulation. Well, what's that stipulation? You have to end your life today. Is there anybody who still wants that money? No, nobody wants it. Oh, do you know why you don't want it? Because you already realize intuitively that time is not money, that time is infinitely more valuable than money. Now, watch this. Let's say you have $1 million, but you're also going to die of some dreaded disease. And there's a cure, and insurance doesn't pay for it, and it works every time, and it's $1 million. How many of you would pay your last $1 million for that cure? Right. Why? Because you realize time is more valuable than money. So if we're going to do that on a large scale, doesn't it make sense if we want to escape the middle class? One of the things we have to do is we have to start doing that on a smaller scale. We have to start using our money to buy back time. Well, Myron, how do you? And by the way, this is a biblical principle. If, Ephesians 5:16 says, "Redeeming the time because the days are evil." So redeem right there means to buy back, to rescue from loss, to improve opportunity. To buy back, rescue from loss, and improve our opportunity. So when I buy back my time, I'm rescuing it from being lost, and I'm using that time to improve my opportunity. So what I'm doing is I'm moving away from the dissipation trap, and what I'm doing is I'm taking now my discretionary time, and I'm investing that discretionary time into something that can make my future brighter. Oh, like how do I do that? So when I was poor and when I was middle class, like I worked on everything myself. In fact, I intentionally bought stuff that needed to be fixed because I could get it for a cheaper price. Because when I was poor, I valued money more than I valued time. When I was middle class, I valued credit more than I valued time. And so middle class, but like poor people, they're number one. They're like the highest value. If you're poor, a poor person, one of a poor person's highest values is money. Poor people value money. It's like the highest thing on their scale of things. Money. Middle class people value credit. I'm not pressing that hard. Credit. So middle class people value credit. What do rich people value? We value time. Like rich people value time. Everything for us is about time and the time value of money and the money value of time. And so rich people value time. And so what we do is we will do anything to save time. That's why rich people hire people to do what? Buy back our time. That's why I pay somebody to clean my house. That's why I pay somebody to cut my grass. That's why I pay somebody to fix my car. The more people who want to do a specific service that I can hire and pay to do that service for me so I don't have to do it, the more time I get back in my life. Now, we have a cleaning lady. Our cleaning lady comes to our house 3 times a week. She comes on Monday, she comes on Wednesday, she comes on Friday. She does all the laundry, all the ironing, right? And she cleans the house, does all the vacuuming, does all that stuff. And my wife is very clean. She would rather do it herself, kind of. But I would rather her not do it so we can hang out together, right? And but in between, we just kind of keep the house tidy. But the cleaning lady comes in, I don't wash clothes. My wife doesn't have to wash clothes. We don't have to think about that. And we just pay somebody to do it. And now we don't have to think about it. We got all that time now that we can spend with each other. We're going to be moving in a couple of months. We move into our new house. We're going to hire a chef. And now we don't have to cook and we don't have to go to a restaurant. It's going to save us even more time, right? When I get ready to go somewhere, I fly on private jets. It costs more money, but it saves me so much time. I don't have to get to the airport 2 hours early. I get to the airport 2 minutes late. And they can't leave without me, right? So I don't have to get to the airport early. I don't have to get in long lines. There are no lines. I don't have to unload my luggage and take it to the check-in counter, the pilot, the co-pilot, and the ground crew, unload my car and put all my stuff on the plane. I don't have to do any of that. I'm not doing that because I'm bougie. I'm doing that because it saves me time. It saves me, how much time does it save you? A ton of time. It would cost me more based on my hourly rate. It would cost me more to fly commercial than it does to fly private. What does that mean? Well, when I talk about saving time, if I'm going to fly next week after next, I'm going to fly from here to Dallas, from Tampa to Dallas. I could probably find a commercial flight for $600, $700, right? Round trip. Cool. And rent a car. Okay. Well, blah, blah, blah. We won't even talk about the rental car, just a trip. Well, to fly from here to Texas is going to be 3 hours. So it's $11,000 an hour there. So what is that? $33,000, $11,000 an hour back. That's $66,000. Oh, that's crazy. Why would you waste that money? Because my hourly rate's $40,000 an hour. If I get to the airport 2 hours early, I've wasted $80,000 on the way out and $80,000 on the way back. That's $160,000 I've flushed down the time toilet, and I can't ever get it back. Whereas when I get ready to go, I get there like literally 15 minutes before it's time for my flight to take off, pull up to the plane, they unload my stuff and get on the plane. Now, why do I do that? I do that because when I am using that time, I can't get that time back. So if you understand that poor people think the primary purpose of money is to pay bills. Middle class people think the primary purpose of money is to establish good credit so they can buy things they don't want, don't need, can't afford, so they can impress people that they don't know, maybe don't like, maybe will never meet. And so, but rich people, we have some very strange habits. Like we seem to be very, very tight. Rich people seem to be, like I used to wonder, like I had some rich friends when I was broke, and I used to wonder, like, why are they so cheap and always counting every penny? I used to wonder. I want to do a whole video on that. Like, why are rich people so cheap? Because they understand the time value of money, and they also understand that when you're rich, every time somebody asks you for money, money is not going to solve their money problem. Okay, cool. You got it. So the dissipation trap. The next one is the distract. So we have the dissipation trap first. I think it's two S's. Dissipation trap. Yeah, I know. I'm just a little nervous about writing letters up here. They keep disappearing. Okay, dissipation trap. The second one is the distraction trap. This one's crazy how many people this destroys. Distraction. Distraction trap. The distraction trap. What is the distraction trap? This is hobbies. Middle class people love hobbies. They're in the bowling league. They're in the golf league. They're in the league. They're in the pickleball league. And they use, not only are they wasting discretionary time just by wasting discretionary time watching stuff on Netflix or on Prime, Amazon Prime or whatever, they're also wasting their discretionary time with their hobbies. There's nothing wrong with hobbies. I like hobbies. I have a hobby. It's called golf. I love to play golf. But as much as I love to play golf, I hate golf leagues. I hate playing golf with a bunch of bad golfers and making it take longer than it needs to take, and flushing a lot of time down the time toilet. I don't like it. And so distractions are watching sports, playing games, playing sports, involved in leagues. There's nothing wrong with any of those stuff. But see, I believe, let me ask you a question. I won't even tell you what I believe. Let me ask you a question. What if the middle class was created by a bunch of wealthy elite people who believed in a zero-sum game to distract middle class people from their objective of actually creating wealth? What if? What if they said, you know what? We like being better than poor people. That's how some people think, but they aren't better than poor people. But we like being better than poor people, but we don't want everybody to be where we are. So what do? Oh, why don't we create this thing called the middle class? I'm not saying this is what happened, but it seems feasible. What if we create this thing called the middle class and make people think they've arrived when they make enough money so they can maintain good credit, work in our businesses, in our factories, and then go buy our products and we can keep them in debt for the rest of their lives? What if? What if the system was designed? I was having a conversation with my daughter the other day. People say the system is broken. The system is broken. The system ain't broken. The system is doing exactly what the system was designed to do. Keep you stuck like Chuck in a pickup truck. That's what it was designed to do. And make you think you're okay, all at the same time. What if, there's nothing wrong with being middle class. Like, if you've maxed out your potential. Like, there's nothing wrong with being broke if you've maxed out your potential. But there's something wrong with, I heard a preacher say a long time ago, it's not a sin for a bird to land on your head. It's a sin if he builds a nest up there. Why? He didn't have any business being there that long, right? Some things are okay that's where you are, as long as you don't camp out. And so what if middle class is just a distraction that was created? And then we have the next trap. This is a big one. The debt trap. Now, here's what's fascinating. Poor people don't use debt because they can't. Because a lot of them, they don't pay their bills on time, so they have bad credit. Middle class people have good credit. They can borrow money. But unfortunately, they borrow money to buy liabilities instead of borrowing money to buy assets. I like borrowing money. I'm going to borrow so much money this year, it's going to be crazy. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars I will borrow this year. You say, why are you going to borrow hundreds of millions of dollars? Well, I'm going to tell you like a billionaire friend of mine told me. He said, if you owe the bank $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, the bank owns you. But if you owe the bank $100 million, you own the bank. Right? It's a totally different game then, right? And so rich people use debt to create wealth. Poor people, middle class people rather, use debt to impress people and make them think they're richer than they are. Who cares, right? So don't borrow money to buy liabilities. Borrow money to buy assets. Assets like what? Assets like property, like real property. Man, yeah. It's so fascinating. I borrowed, I bought a house for like $2.5 million last year, right? And I borrowed 1.8 million of that. Well, just because I borrowed that $1.8 million, I got back as a tax refund all the money that I paid in taxes last year, just because I bought that one house at the end of the year. Like, I got it all back, like all of it. Okay, so use debt to create wealth. And then This is one of my least favorites. This to me, this is religion for people. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, it literally doesn't make any sense. The delay trap. What's the delay trap? You know what I'm going to write, right? Retirement. Like, I'm going to work really, really hard while I'm young and strong and have a lot of energy in my body, so that when I'm old and tired and can't move, I can retire and have enough money to do all the stuff I always wanted to do. What if the whole concept of retirement is part of the trap? That's the bait of the trap. Retire. You know why you want to retire? Because somebody talked you into building a life that you don't like. And so one day, I'm going to get out of this. Why don't you let one day be today, or at least start today? People say, well, Myron, when are you going to retire? Retire from what? Retire and do what? You know what I noticed? Too many people who retire, shortly after that, they expire. And I have no desire to expire. Therefore, I have no desire to retire. Now, I have a retirement fund. Why? Because it saves me money on taxes. I don't have a retirement fund because I want to retire. I'm young. I'll be 64 tomorrow. I got stuff to do. What did God tell Joshua in Joshua chapter 21? I think it was Joshua chapter 16. He said, you are old and well stricken in years, and there's still much more land to be conquered. That didn't sound like a retirement plan to me. That sounded like a refiring plan to me. I don't need retirement. I need refirement. So, the delay trap. I'm going to live my life later when I have more time, when I have enough time to have more, and I have more money. So, what if instead your objective was, so this is how I do it. I believe that if you live your life according to the seasons of life, you can enjoy your life a lot more. You could take every day, and I'm going to give you a framework that you can take, and you can boil down every day into this framework. Every day you can boil down into this framework. Every week you can boil down into this framework. You can overlay this framework on every month, overlay this framework on every year, overlay this framework on every decade, and overlay this framework on your entire life. And I promise you will have more joy than one day I'm going to retire. Okay, what is it? If you're an entrepreneur, or if you ever decide to become one, which I would highly recommend, what will happen is once you start working on your business and in your business, you're going to have so much focus and so much intentionality and so much intensity. People are going to say, you're so out of balance. All you ever do is work. All you think about is money. You're so out of balance, right? How many of y'all heard that? Entrepreneurs in the room, right? Right. And they're saying that as if thou shalt be balanced. It was the 11th commandment, right? But there's no place in the scripture where it says thou shalt be balanced. What is that? But balance is a season, and focus is a season. It's never winter and summer in the same place at the same time, and there's never going to be focus and balance in the same person at the same time. When you're in focus, you're out of balance. When you're in balance, you're out of focus. When I first got started as an entrepreneur, my seasons of focus were this big, and my seasons of balance were this big. It was like focus, balance, balance. But as I kept doing big long seasons of focus and little bitty seasons of balance, eventually they got closer together. Season of focus, balance, 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 focus, balance. To me, that's way cooler than retirement, because now I don't have to wait till someday. I don't have to fall into the delay trap. I can have seasons of focus today and seasons of balance today. I can have seasons of focus this week and seasons of balance this week. I can have seasons of focus this month and seasons of balance this month. I can have seasons of focus this year, seasons of balance this year. I can have seasons of focus this decade and seasons of balance this decade. I get the best of all worlds while I can enjoy it, instead of some future time that I might not even make it to. At least I'm already here today. And if I practice this principle, starting on the micro level of the daily, You can even boil it down to the hourly if you want to. But if I start applying this principle now, and then I've developed the habit of getting used to living like this, man, I'll look in the mirror one day and be like, oh man, my seasons of focus are this big, but my seasons of balance are this big. Okay. The last trap that we're going to discuss is the delusion trap. And that's the one you're going to be tempted with right now. Delusion trap. You say, what's the delusion trap? Thinking that everything is going to be okay because somebody else is going to come along and fix it. You are delusional. Or as Jim Rohn said, what if they don't show up? What if nobody shows up to save you? Like you're living a life of delusion. Well, it's going to work itself out. It's going to work itself out. No, that's not how the law of entropy works. It does not work itself out. It wears itself out. Anything left to itself tends to move more and more towards disorder. So if you think that by you not intentionally deciding to do something and then working towards that, it's going to work itself out, you are delusional. Let's don't be delusional. Let's escape the middle class traps, middle class money traps that keep people stuck for years and decades of their life. And let's go live a life on purpose, with purpose, for our purpose. Hope this video blesses you. Stay blessed by the best, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.
All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out the other content that we have on this channel. But before you go, I wanted to remind you again not to forget to check out the Black Primacy app. It is the best way to connect with Black-owned businesses near you. They need your support. We need your support. Link in the description.